검은 수녀들과 함께 해주셔서 정말 감사드립니다.
Lovely viewers, gather around because today's story is one that goes straight to the heart. It's not just about glitz, glamour, or the sparkling lives of our favorite celebrities. It's about courage, vulnerability, and the healing power of love. Today, we are diving into an emotional and inspiring revelation from the one and only song Hye Kyo. In a rare moment of openness, she has shared how she overcame her deep fears about motherhood, and the role Minho played in supporting her every step of the way. This isn't just about romance. It's about strength, partnership, and the beautiful reality that even our most admired stars are human, facing challenges that many of us can relate to. Song Hye Kyo has always been known for her elegance and composure. On screen, she has portrayed strong, graceful women, characters who inspire millions. Off-screen, she has lived under the spotlight of fame for decades, carrying herself with unmatched poise. But behind that calm exterior, there was a fear that weighed heavily on her heart, the fear of motherhood. And who could blame her? For many women, the thought of becoming a mother brings with it countless questions. Am I ready? Will I be good enough? Can I handle the responsibility? And for someone like Song Hye Kyo, whose life has always been watched, discussed, and judged by millions, those fears became magnified. Lovely viewers, let's pause here and ask. Have you ever faced a fear so big that it made you doubt yourself? Perhaps stepping into a new role at work, moving to a new city, or even taking a big leap in your personal life. If you have, then you know exactly what Song Hye Kyo was feeling. Motherhood wasn't just a step, it was a transformation. And like many women, she feared losing herself, her identity, or her ability to be strong enough for the child she would one day raise. But here is where the story takes a truly moving turn. By her side through it all was Minho. And what he did for her wasn't about grand gestures this time. It was about quiet, consistent support. While Minho is often celebrated for his dramatic larger-than-life surprises, remember the private jet anniversary trip we talked about, lovely viewers? This chapter of their love story showed a different side of him. A side that was patient, understanding, and deeply nurturing. Song Hye Kyo revealed that in her darkest moments of doubt, Minho never dismissed her fears. Instead, he listened. He sat with her during long conversations, holding her hand as she poured out her worries. He reassured her not by telling her she was wrong to feel that way, but by reminding her that she wouldn't be walking this path alone. Can you feel the weight of those words, lovely viewers? Sometimes, the most courageous thing we can do is admit we're scared, and the most powerful thing someone else can do is say, "I'll be with you through it all." And Minho did exactly that. Whenever Song Hye Kyo doubted her strength, he gently reminded her of all the times she had already shown resilience, through her career, her personal struggles, and the many storms she had weathered in life. He became her mirror, reflecting back the strength she couldn't see in herself. Lovely viewers, doesn't that remind you of the kind of love we all wish for? Not someone who tells us we're perfect, but someone who sees our flaws, our fears, and our insecurities, and still chooses to stand by us, lifting us up when we feel low. As time went on, Song Hye Kyo began to shift her perspective. Instead of seeing motherhood as a burden she wasn't ready for, she began to see it as a journey she didn't have to walk alone. And it was Minho's unwavering presence that made the difference. He would do simple things, reading articles about parenting and sharing them with her, suggesting they attend workshops together, and even practicing small things like holding a baby doll to make her laugh. Lovely viewers, can you picture that? Minho, the tall and charismatic superstar, cradling a baby doll just to show Song Hye Kyo that they could learn and grow together. Fans who caught whispers of this story couldn't stop smiling at the thought, calling it the sweetest and most relatable image of him yet. But perhaps the most courageous part of this story is not just that Song Hye Kyo overcame her fears, but that she chose to share them. In a culture where celebrities are often expected to appear flawless, opening up about something so deeply personal takes incredible bravery. By admitting that she was afraid, she showed fans around the world that vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. And by revealing how Minho supported her, She reminded us all that love is not just about passion and romance, but also about patience, partnership, and the courage to grow together. Lovely viewers, can you feel the depth of this story? Doesn't it make you admire her even more? And doesn't it make you respect Lee Min-ho not just as a star, but as a partner who embodies the true meaning of love? Now, let's imagine together what those moments must have looked like in their home. Perhaps late at night, when the world was quiet, Hye Kyo would share her worries, and Lee Min-ho would wrap his arms around her, saying softly, "We'll figure this out together." Or maybe in the morning, over coffee, he'd bring up a new idea he'd read about, his eyes sparkling with hope, making her laugh in spite of her worries. These little snapshots of their life remind us that it's often the smallest gestures that make the biggest impact. Fans, of course, have been deeply moved by this revelation. Social media has been overflowing with messages of support, with many women saying they feel seen and heard through Hye Kyo's honesty. Mothers especially have resonated with her words, sharing their own stories of fear and courage, and thanking her for breaking the silence around such an important topic. Some fans even said that her openness gave them the push they needed to have conversations with their own partners about their worries. Isn't it beautiful, lovely viewers, how one person's vulnerability can create a ripple effect of healing and understanding? And let's not forget how this has impacted the perception of Lee Min-ho. While he has always been admired for his talent, looks, and charisma, fans are now praising him for his emotional intelligence, his empathy, and his devotion as a partner. Some have even started calling him the ideal husband, pointing out that true romance is not just about surprises or gifts, but about being there when it truly matters. Lovely viewers, what do you think? Does this not redefine what it means to be a partner? As for Hye Kyo, her journey of overcoming her fears has made her an even more inspiring figure. She has always been a role model, but now she is one in a deeper, more personal way. By showing that she is human, with doubts and insecurities, she has given her fans permission to embrace their own humanity too. And by showing that those fears can be overcome with love, support, and courage, she has reminded us all that no mountain is too high when you have someone to climb it with. Lovely viewers, doesn't this story make you reflect on your own life? Who has been your Lee Min-ho? The person who stood by you, believed in you, and helped you overcome your fears. And have you ever been that person for someone else? Because love is not just about receiving, it's about giving that same courage back when the roles are reversed. As we continue to follow their journey, one thing is clear. Hye Kyo's courage and Lee Min-ho's support have created a bond that is unshakable. Their story is more than just celebrity news. It's a lesson in love, resilience, and the power of partnership. And for us, lovely viewers, it's an invitation to believe in that kind of love in our own lives, to nurture it, and to never let fear stop us from embracing the future. We had just reflected on what we might say if we were sitting with Hye Kyo, offering her encouragement, or if we had a chance to thank Lee Min-ho for being such a steadfast partner. Now let's go even deeper, into the daily details of how this couple turned fear into strength, and into the ripple effect their love story has had on fans all around the world. Imagine with me, lovely viewers, the days following Hye Kyo's courageous revelation. For the first time, she had spoken aloud what she had kept tucked away inside her heart for so long. The world now knew that she too had fears, that she too had doubted herself. But instead of receiving judgment, she was showered with love. Fans filled social media with heartfelt messages like, "Thank you for reminding us that it's okay to be afraid," and "You've given me courage to face my own journey." Mothers across generations wrote about how they cried reading her words, remembering their own fears before holding their babies in their arms. Can you feel how powerful that must have been, lovely viewers? To know that your honesty has created a safe space for others to heal. But let's not forget Lee Min-ho in this moment. He wasn't just standing by silently. He was actively uplifting her, proud of her for opening up. Insiders say that after her revelation, he told her, "Do you see how many lives you've touched by simply being yourself? Doesn't that melt your heart?" Because while the world applauded her courage, Lee Min-ho made sure she knew that the bravest step was in simply choosing to speak. That's the beauty of his support. not just in the big gestures but in the quiet affirmations that remind her of her worth. Lovely viewers, let's paint a picture of what their days together must look like during this chapter of their lives. Perhaps in the mornings, as sunlight filters through their home, they sit together over tea. Song Hye Kyo may still voice little worries. What if I'm not patient enough? What if I can't give enough of myself? And Minho, in his calm and steady way, places his hand on hers and says, "You've already given so much love to the world. Imagine what you'll give to our child." Isn't that a beautiful reassurance? One that takes away fear and replaces it with hope. And at night, after long days filled with work and obligations, maybe they find quiet moments to dream together. Lying side by side, whispering about the kind of parents they want to be, the values they want to instill, the home they want to create, the love they want to wrap their child in. Song Hye Kyo might confess that she still feels nervous, but Minho's response is always the same. We'll figure it out together. Lovely viewers, isn't that the essence of love? Choosing to face the unknown not as one, but as two. Now let's think about the impact this revelation has had not just on fans, but also on the entertainment industry. Many celebrities often stay silent about their struggles, afraid of showing anything less than perfection. But by opening up, Song Hye Kyo has started a conversation. Other actresses, singers, and public figures are now being asked how they, too, manage fears of motherhood or the pressures of balancing family and career. Some are even courageously sharing their own journeys. Doesn't it amaze you, lovely viewers, how one person's bravery can spark a chain reaction that empowers so many others? And for Minho, his role as a supportive partner has inspired a new wave of admiration. Fans, both men and women, are calling his approach a model for what true partnership looks like. They point out that his strength doesn't come from overshadowing Song Hye Kyo, but from standing beside her, allowing her to shine even in her vulnerability. That's a lesson many couples are now reflecting on. Lovely viewers, doesn't it make you ask yourself, how can I be that kind of support for someone in my life? Or who has been that support for me? But perhaps one of the most touching parts of this story is how it has deepened their bond as a couple. Facing fears together has a way of bringing people closer, of making love feel stronger, more grounded. Insiders who know them well say that Song Hye Kyo now carries herself with a renewed sense of peace. And Minho, he's said to look at her with even more admiration, knowing that the woman he loves didn't just overcome her fears, she transformed them into a story of courage that is inspiring millions. Lovely viewers, can you feel how extraordinary this is? It's more than just a celebrity couple's love story. It's a reminder that love, when rooted in trust and support, has the power to turn fear into strength and doubt into hope. Now let's make this interactive, because this story isn't just about them, it's about all of us. Have you ever faced a fear that felt overwhelming, only to find courage through the support of someone who loved you? Maybe it was a parent, a friend, a partner, or even a mentor. How did their presence help you face what seemed impossible? And on the other side, have you ever been that source of courage for someone else? Share your stories, lovely viewers, because just like Song Hye Kyo's revelation inspired millions, your words may inspire someone watching this video right now. And imagine with me where this story goes from here. With each step forward, with every little fear transformed into strength, Song Hye Kyo and Minho are not just preparing for parenthood, they're writing a love story that will one day inspire their child. A story of courage, of vulnerability, and of the kind of love that doesn't shy away from fear but embraces it, transforms it, and rises above it. Isn't that the kind of legacy we all hope to leave behind? Song Hye Kyo first spoke about her fears of motherhood. Her words carried the weight of honesty that resonated with countless people. She wasn't trying to paint herself as perfect. She wasn't hiding behind the polished image of a celebrity. Instead, she revealed the raw truth, that even someone as admired and loved as her could be vulnerable, uncertain, and afraid. It's a rare kind of bravery to admit those feelings, especially in a world where public expectations can be so unforgiving. Yet what makes this revelation even more powerful is how Minho stood by her, transforming her fear into strength. Imagine the countless nights when doubts crept into her mind, the quiet hours when she questioned whether she could live up to the demands of being both a mother and a public figure. Those moments of silence, filled with racing thoughts, could have easily overwhelmed her. But it was Lee Min-ho's gentle reassurance that gave her peace. He didn't dismiss her worries. Instead, he listened, embraced her vulnerability, and reminded her that motherhood was never meant to be a solitary journey. Together, they built a foundation where her fears were met not with judgment, but with love. Viewers, can you feel how extraordinary that is? Think about it. How many of us at some point in our lives have needed someone to hold our hand when we doubted ourselves? That's exactly what Lee Min-ho did for Song Hye Kyo. He didn't just become a partner in their romantic life. He became a true partner in her emotional growth. He transformed her fear into a shared experience, one they would face together step by step. This courage that Song Hye Kyo spoke about wasn't born overnight. It was nurtured in small, meaningful moments. Perhaps it was in the mornings when Lee Min-ho would whisper, "You're doing better than you think." Or maybe it was in the way he celebrated the tiniest victories with her. The first time she felt confident about soothing their baby, or the moment she smiled without hesitation while cradling their child. Each of these seemingly ordinary moments carried extraordinary weight, shaping her into the courageous mother she is today. But what makes this story even more moving is the way Song Hye Kyo has now begun to embrace motherhood not with fear, but with a deep sense of joy. She spoke of how Lee Min-ho reminded her that being a mother doesn't require perfection. It requires presence, love, and the willingness to keep trying, even on the hard days. This wisdom gave her the strength to let go of the impossible standards she once held herself to. Fans who have followed their journey know this is more than just a love story. It's a story of growth, healing, and mutual empowerment. And doesn't it make you wonder, lovely viewers? What if this courage Song Hye Kyo is now embracing is not just for herself, but for all of us who are watching? By opening up about her struggles, she's telling the world, it's okay to be afraid, but it's even more powerful to keep going with love by your side. Lee Min-ho's role in this cannot be overstated. His support has shown us the true essence of partnership, not in grand gestures alone, but in consistency, patience, and unwavering faith in the person you love. Isn't that what everyone dreams of, viewers? A partner who doesn't walk away when fear appears, but who sits beside you in that fear and helps you find the courage to move forward. Their journey has also sparked important conversations among fans and families alike. Many have shared how they relate to Song Hye Kyo's fears, whether it's about motherhood, career, or personal struggles. Others have found inspiration in Lee Min-ho's example, seeing how vital it is to offer real, patient support to loved ones in times of uncertainty. This ripple effect, this ability to inspire people worldwide, shows just how impactful their love story has become. And let's not forget the symbolic beauty in this narrative. Song Hye Kyo's courage didn't erase her fears overnight, but it taught her to walk with them, and eventually to rise above them. With Lee Min-ho by her side, she transformed her doubts into determination. Isn't that something we can all carry with us? A reminder that love, when it's true, doesn't erase our weaknesses. It helps us turn them into strength. Lovely viewers, we've only just begun to touch on the depth of this story, but already it feels like a lesson in resilience, vulnerability, and the extraordinary power of love. I can't help but ask you, what do you think gives Song Hye Kyo's story its emotional strength? Is it her courage to speak her truth, or Lee Min-ho's constant support that turned fear into triumph? Perhaps it's the combination of both, woven together into one of the most beautiful journeys we've ever witnessed.